Are we living in a computer simulation? So, Are We Living in a Computer Simulation by Donald H. Marks, physician, scientist, and third-generation veteran. Recently, there have been a number of discussions concerning whether our perception of reality is real and whether we are actually, rather, living in a simulation of reality. Such a simulation would involve a higher power or higher intelligence to simulate, perhaps in a massive computer program somewhere, the perception of reality and life, which then would be fed to us as characters in the simulation to make us think that we were real. The simulation hypothesis is a philosophical thought experiment that posits that we might be living in a simulated reality, created by a technologically advanced civilization. This idea has gained traction due to advancements in technology and our growing understanding of the nature of reality. The core arguments behind this simulation hypothesis are technological advancement. As technology continues to advance, it becomes increasingly plausible that a future civilization could create highly realistic simulations, infinite universes. If there are an infinite number of universes, it's possible that at least one of them would have the capacity to create simulations. Fundamental laws of physics. The laws of physics could be a product of the simulation's programming, rather than fundamental truths of the universe. Living in a simulation would mean that our entire perceived reality, including our physical bodies, the world around us, and the laws of physics, are all part of a computer program. It's as if we are characters in a video game, but with a level of consciousness and agency that we might not fully comprehend. Determining whether we are living in a simulation is incredibly challenging, and there is no definitive way to prove it. However, some potential indicators have been suggested: anomalies or glitches. If we were in a simulation, there might be occasional glitches or anomalies that would suggest a programmed reality. Fundamental limitations. If there are fundamental limitations to our understanding of the universe, it could be due to the constraints of the simulation, consciousness and free will. The nature of consciousness and free will could provide clues. If our consciousness is a product of the simulation, it might have limitations or patterns. Technological advancements. If we were to reach a point where we could create simulations ourselves, it would raise questions about our own reality. Ultimately, the simulation hypothesis remains a thought-provoking philosophical concept. While it's impossible to prove or disprove definitively, it serves as a reminder of the complexity and mystery of our existence. Perhaps we can use AI to explore whether we are living in a simulation. The likelihood of using AI to definitively know if we are living in a simulation is currently very low. While AI has the potential to analyze vast amounts of data and identify patterns that humans might miss, in my opinion, there are significant challenges in definitively proving or disproving the simulation existence hypothesis. Here's why. Lack of a clear definition. The concept of a simulation is itself subjective and open to interpretation. What constitutes a simulation, and how would we distinguish it from our current reality? Limitations of AI. Even advanced AI would be constrained by the limitations of the simulation itself. It might be unable to detect or access information outside of the simulated environment. Paradox of self-reference. If we were to discover a pattern or anomaly that suggested we were in a simulation, it's possible that the discovery itself was part of the simulation's design. Philosophical questions. The question of whether we are living in a simulation raises profound philosophical questions about consciousness, reality, and the nature of existence. AI, while powerful, cannot answer these fundamental questions on its own. While AI may be able to provide insights into the nature of our reality, it's unlikely that it will be able to definitively prove or disprove the simulation hypothesis. The question of whether we are living in a simulation is a complex one that involves both scientific and philosophical considerations. One of the key challenges and methods of using an AI program to determine a complex question like whether we are living in a simulation is how exactly do we construct the question? What are the best prompts to achieve a successful answer? Here are a few prompts or questions we could use to explore the simulation hypothesis with AI. Direct questions. Is it possible that our reality is a simulation? What evidence could suggest that we are living in a simulated universe? Are there any inherent limitations or inconsistencies in our universe that could indicate its artificial, hypothetical scenarios? If we were in a simulation, what might the creator's intentions be? How would a simulation break down or malfunction? What kind of glitches or anomalies might we observe if our reality was simulated? Analytical requests. Analyze the laws of physics for any inconsistencies or patterns that might suggest an artificial origin. Examine the behavior of quantum particles for any evidence of a simulated environment. Evaluate the nature of consciousness and its compatibility with a simulated reality. Remember that AI can only process information based on the data it has been trained on. It cannot provide definitive answers to philosophical or existential questions like whether we are living in a simulation. The prompts above aim to stimulate thought and analysis, but ultimately the question of whether we are in a simulation remains a matter of speculation and philosophical inquiry.